I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on solving EQAO test papers. Here is the one of 2018 for grade 3 students. Most of the questions in this test paper are related to number sentence, number patterns. We'll talk about addition whenever we'll deal with number sentence and patterns. And then we'll have examples with money, multiplication using rows and columns, probability, pictograph. We'll have also questions based on histogram, basically to read the graphs, area and perimeter, and then about the faces, edges and vertices of polygons. Now, in case you have any difficulties or suggestions, you can always contact me on the email address given here. So here are questions from 2018 test paper. Now for some questions, calculator is not allowed, but for most, calculator is allowed. You should be working with a pencil to fill in as shown here. However, I'm going to just answer and explain you the answers and not fill in any answer, right? For some questions, calculator is not allowed. So these two questions you have to do without calculator. So let's begin with the very first question, which is, what is 346 plus 123? So you can always add these two numbers, right? 346 and 123 and find the solution. So when you add, you get 9, 6 and 4. So 469 is the right solution. So you need to fill this up with a pencil, right? Kind of like this. Is that clear to you? Right? The next question here is based on money. So you are shown some coins here. Now let's see how to answer this particular question. It says Samir has these coins. He spends $1.75. How much money does he have left? So basically we have to figure out what is the value, right? So here it is $2. This is a toonie, right? This is again a toonie. Now this is a 5 cents coin. So let me write 5 cents. Then we again have a 5 cents coin, 5 cents coin, and a dime, the 10 cents coin. So first thing is find the total money. So what is the total? So it is 200, 5 cents. So you can count like this also, 4, and these are cents, right? So 5, 10, 15, and 10, 25. You could do that. Or you could write like this. Cents means 05, right? Don't write 50. Otherwise, you will make a mistake. Is that clear to you? 10 cents is like this. Okay? Now you can add them up. So 5, 10, 15. Then you get 1 here. 1 and 1, 2, 25, and 2 and 2, 4. This is one way of counting. The other way of counting is that you can say you have $2 and $2, $4, right? So you have $4. And how many cents? 5, 10, 15, and 10, 25, right? So 25 cents. So you get $4.25. Is that clear to you? Now the question is, he spends 125. That means from 425, we have to take away 175, right? He spends 175. So what is left? So you'll have to borrow in this case, correct? So 5 and 5 is 0, but you cannot take away 7 from 2. So you borrow. It becomes $3, and then this becomes 12. So that gives you 5, and from 3 when you take away, you get 2. So 250 is your answer. So you'll shade in this. Is that clear to you? So that is how you're going to solve this particular question. I hope it makes sense. Perfect. Let's move on and take question number 3. Question number 3 is, what number goes in the box to complete the number sentence? So we have 2 plus 7 equals to what plus 3. Now what is 2 plus 7, right? So we have 2 plus 7 is actually 9, right? So basically we have to get 9. So 3 plus what is 9? 3 plus what is 9? We know 3 plus 6 is 9, correct? So we'll fill in 6. Is that clear to you? So that is how you're going to answer this question. Now, let's look into question number 4. At this stage, you are allowed a calculator. So this section will be done here onwards with calculator. We are going to use a simple calculator like this to solve all our questions, right? Whenever required, we are going to use this calculator. Okay. The question here is question number 4, which is Alicia creates this pictograph about the types of birds she sees at the park. Types of birds at the park are robin, sparrow, blue jay. So these marks, we have to look into the key. What is the key here? Well, each represents 6 birds. Each represents 6 birds, right? So that means blue jay, it is 6, right? And this is 6 and 2, 12. That will represent half of 6, which is 3. So 6 and 6 is 12 plus 3 is 15, right? And here we have 3 6s, which is 18. So these are the number of birds for each type. Now the question for you is, how many sparrows does she see? So we have to look into sparrows. So how many sparrows? Well, the number of sparrows is 15. So we will circle 15 in this case. Correct? So we'll circle 15 in this case, which is right there. So we'll fill in this particular circle. Is that clear to you? So that is how you read a pictograph. Important thing is to see the key, right? Each tree shown here or the leaf shown here is 6 birds. Now let's look into question number 5. Simon adds these numbers. 24 plus 15 equals to 39. What number sentence could he use to check his answer? So to check the answer, what could you do? You could do 39 take away 15, right? You could do 39 take away 24 to check your answer. Now what are the options given to us? Well, one of the option is 39 take away 15, right? Which works. Correct. So when you do 39 take away 15, you do get 24. So this is the correct way, right? So you can rearrange and always write the sentence, right? Question number 6. Hayden puts cans in this box. He puts the same number of cans in each row. How many cans in total will this box hold, right? So you can count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this side, if you count them, how many do you get? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means 7 times 5, right? 7 times 5, which is 35. So 35 should be your answer. So let's fill in the option for 35 as the right option. Perfect. Question number 7 here is, which shape has only one right angle, right? Only one right angle means something like this, right? So there's this shape which has only one right angle. Is that clear to you? So the shape which has only one right angle is this right angle triangle. So we can circle this right angle triangle. Perfect. So that is how we are going to answer these questions. Now here is a very interesting question for you. This is open response question. You need to read the question, explain your answer, and then try to do it yourself and then actually look into my solution. Question number 8 is, Marnia creates this shape using 8 square tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is the perimeter of Marnia's shape? Okay, the perimeter is how? You need to write. Now perimeter is the length from outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we get a perimeter of 14 units. Do you see that? 1 unit is shown here. So in this unit, we have 14 units. So that will be our answer. Is that clear to you? Now this question has 2 parts. Let's try to understand the second part. It says, in the space below, create a new shape that has 8 squares like this, right? 8 square tiles and has a perimeter greater than the perimeter of Mania's shape. Now, we want greater than this. The best way is to put the 8 blocks horizontally, right? So we could just, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could just make 8 blocks kind of like this horizontally. That will give us maximum perimeter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 1, 8. Now for this, what is the perimeter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 1, 18. So we have perimeter of 18 units. Correct? This is much higher than 14 units. So if you flatten this out, then you get the maximum perimeter. So you need to write down the answer right here. So we'll write down 18 in our shape. So you see how to solve this particular question. Clear? Okay. Now let's take question number 9. The first 3 numbers of Daniel's and Jeff's pattern are shown. Daniel's pattern continues to increase by same number, right? Increase by same amount each time. Jeff's pattern continues to increase by same amount each time. So they are increasing by same amount each time. What do you need to figure out? The question is, whose pattern will reach 100 first? Circle, right? So let's see. So we have to just increase the pattern and see. So from 76 to 80, we are adding what? Well, we are adding 4. 80 to 84, we are adding 4. So let's keep on adding 4 and see what you get. So we get 84 and then we'll get, 88 when you add 4 to 84. Then we get 92, right? And then we get 96 and then we get 100. So that is how we are going to get 100 using Daniel's pattern. Now let's check Jeff's pattern. Now in this case, 64 from 55 is addition of what? Well, it is 9. So when you add 9, you get the next number. So let's add 9 and see what do we get, correct? So if I add 9 to 73, we get 82 and then we get 91. And now when I add 9, I get 100, correct? Now let's check the numbers. After how much, right? So we have to figure out who reaches 100 first. Now for Jeff, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th time. Here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th time. Do you see that? So who reaches first? Of course, Jeff, right? So we'll circle for Jeff. And we need to show our work. Since these are open response questions, so that is the work, correct? So in the patterns, we are adding by 9. So Jeff reached in the 6th term, right? And Daniel reaches on the 7th term. So Jeff reaches first. Question number 10 here is, 3 students make a game of pulling a tile from a bag. Raven wins if the tile with an R on it is pulled. Gina wins if a tile with a G on it is pulled. Bella wins if a tile with a B on it is pulled, right? Here are 12 tiles for the bag. Label the remaining tiles for R, G and a B so that the game is fair. So 12, 3 people, so we should have how many of each kind? Same number we have. So same, we want fair game means equal numbers, right? So equal number of tiles. So how many of each? Well, there are only 3 numbers to be placed, right? And we want them all to be same numbers. So we could have 4 of each kind, right? So we could have G and G. We can have 4 G's, correct? We already have 1 B. So let me add 3 more. And then let's add some R's. So we have how many R's left? We have 4 R's. So we need same number. So that makes sense to you? So that is how we could form the tiles. Now let's look into the question. The question here is, if there were only 7 tiles, could the game still be fair for the 3 students? Justify your answer. Well, with 7 tiles, we have 7 tiles, right? Then 7 cannot be divided into 3. 7, when you divide 7 by 3, you get 2, remainder 1, correct? So that means we could have 2 of each kind, right? We could have 2 of each kind. So that is fair, but we need 1 more since we have 7, right? Since we have 7 tiles, we have to add 1 more here. So if it could be G, R or blue, it could be green, red or blue, right? So whatever you put here, that makes the unfair game. That is unfair advantage, correct? So therefore, with 7 tiles, we cannot have fair game for 3 students or for 3 players. Is that clear to you? So that is how you're going to answer, right? So I hope you find it interesting and useful. Now let's look into the next question. Complete this chart. So we are given some shapes here, triangular prism, pentagonal prism. Here we have to name a figure, right? Then we are given number of faces, number of edges, and number of vertices. So what I'll do, I'll slightly push this page. We have to basically fill in this information, right? Okay, so let's try to fill in number of faces for triangular prism. So we have 2 at the ends and 3 here, right? So we have total of 5 faces. Number of edges, 3 and 3, 6, and those 3 joint will be making it 9. So number of edges is 9. Number of vertices, so these are your vertices, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is how we can fill in the information for triangular prism. Now let's look into pentagonal prism. How many faces we have, right? So we have 5 faces on the side, 6 and 7, right? Top and bottom, plus 5 on the sides, right? So we have total 7. So number of faces for a prism in this case is 2 more than the number of sides. Do you see? 2 more than number of sides. So basically it is 5 plus 2, and in the previous case it was 3 plus 2. Since we are talking about prisms, do you see that? So in any prism, number of sides plus 2 gives you the number of faces. Now let's look into the edges. Now in this case, we have the 6 edges in the bottom, 6 on the top and 6 on the sides. So basically it is 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is 18. In the previous case, we had 3 plus 3 plus 3. Do you see that? So it was 3 plus 3 plus 3. So that is how you figured out it was 9. Now the number of vertices. As far as the vertices are concerned, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 5 in the bottom, right? So we have 5 plus 5, which is 10. In the previous case, it is a triangular, right? 3. Triangular means 3, correct? That is why we are having all these numbers as 3, okay? So it is 3 plus 3, which is equal to 6. So that is how you get the number of faces, number of edges, and the vertices. Now the last one here says, name the figure. We are given the faces, we are given the edges, and we are given the vertices. What that could be? Well, here, if I divide by 3, what do I get? I get 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. So that means 4 edges, right? So, do you understand? So it could be a rectangular prism. Does it make sense? 4, right? So if I do 4 plus 2, I do get 6. It helps to understand, right? 4 plus 4 is 8. Do you see how we got our number? 4-sided figure and a prism, right? So 4-sided figure and a prism. So let me sketch one. So we could sketch like this. We make one rectangle, another rectangle, correct? And we just join them. We join each side. Do you see that? So that is how we get our rectangular prism. So it could be a rectangular prism. It could be a cube also. So we have two options here. We could also make a cube. So both are options. You could make a cube with all same. So that is also the correct answer. Do you see that? So we could also make a cube in this particular case. I hope you understand it, right? Now let's move on and take question number 12. 12 is, Said estimates the height of his classroom. Which could be the correct estimate? Well, it has to be meters, centimeters. Well, 4 centimeters is too small and 4 kilometers is too long. So, of course, the correct answer is 4 meters, right? So, 4 meters is the correct answer. Deborah represents 362 with these base 10 blocks. Now the question is, so it is 300, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 60, right? This is 60, right? These are 300s, right? All these three. And this is number 2. She adds 4 more 10s, right? 4 more 10s. That means these, right? So 4 more 10s are be 1, 2, 3, 4. So means 40 is being added. Is it okay? So it becomes 402. So it says what number is represented now? So the number represented now is 402. Is that clear? So go through it once again. Tens. So we are adding 10, 10, 10 and another 10, which makes it 40, correct? So we have to add 40. So we get 362 plus 40 as 402. Question number 14. Ahmed reads for 180 minutes and Ben reads for an hour. How long do they both read in total? So we have 180 minutes. 1 hour is how much? 1 hour is 60 minutes, correct? So we have to write it in minutes first. Or since the answers are in hours, we could also convert that to hours. So both ways we could do, right? So if you write in minutes, then it'll be like this. Adding will give you 6 and 8, 14, 240 minutes, right? So you do get your answer, which is 240 minutes. Now, if I do it in hours, 180 minutes is 3 hours, correct? 180 minutes is 3 hours. So in hours, it is 3 hours plus 1 hour, which is 4 hours. So we do not have that option, but we do have minutes option of 240, which is the right answer. Clear? Question number 14 is done. Question number 15 for us is, Devon creates this growing pattern using tiles. How many tiles will you use to make shape 4? Well, you can actually pause the video now, answer, and then look into my suggestions. How can we write the pattern? So if you see here, we have how many tiles? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it okay? Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is growing by how much? So how do you get the next one? By adding 2, correct? By adding 2. So if I add 2, I should get 11. So 11 is my right answer. Clear? So that is how we could do it. Now let's move on and take more questions. We are almost at the end. 3 more questions to do. Right? Here is question number 16. Which number chart shows a shaded pattern made by skip counting by 11? That means you have to add 11. Do you understand? So skip counting by 11. So which one is that? Now to answer this question, what we can do is, let's see the patterns. We have here 10, 19. So if I do 19 take away 10, I get 9. So that is not the right answer. Here I have 12 and 1. So if I take away 1 from 12, I get 11. That is correct. Even if I do 23 minus 12, I get 23 minus 12, I get 11. So that is the correct answer. So we'll mark this as our right answer, right? So skip by 11 will be option 2. The other options given to us are not skipping by 11. Here it is by 10, right? So 15 take away 5 is 10. And the last one here is consecutive numbers. They're together, right? So 22 minus 21 is just 1, right? So we have the right option as the second one. Is that clear to you? Now let's answer the 17th question, which is, which shape below has vertical, horizontal, and diagonal lines of symmetry? So that could be a square, right? So we are given different shapes. Square is the last shape in this particular pattern. So that will be our answer. Clear? So it has all the 3 symmetries. The diagonal symmetry, it has the vertical line symmetry going through the center, and also the horizontal line symmetry. Is that clear to you? Okay. The last question here is question number 18, which is a bar graph for us. It says, the following graph shows information about the animals on Mrs. Brown's farm. Okay, sheep, pig, cows, and horses. And these are the numbers. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now, the question here is, which statement about this farm is true? There are 10 pigs. Well, let's write down. How many sheep are there? So the number of sheep is 8 and 10. Between 8 and 10 is 9. As far as the pigs are concerned, there are 12. Cows are 11. Horses are 8. Right? Now let us answer. So it says there are 10 pigs. No, there are 12 pigs. So this is not correct. There are 12 cows. There are 11 cows. This is not correct. There are more sheep than pigs. More sheep than pigs. Incorrect. So this is also not correct. The last one is there are more cows than sheep. Yes, it is true. There are more cows than sheep. That is true. So we have 11 cows and 9 sheep, right? 11 and 9. So that is the right answer. So that is how you could actually solve this assessment for grade 3 students test paper. Very interesting. So I hope you learned how to solve such questions. So we had questions about all these topics. If you have any doubts, feel free to write email to me. I'll be answering your questions at the earliest. Thanks for watching and all the best.